Welcome back to DevOps for All. In part 2, we continue with application deployment, progressive delivery, and production.
So we are going to talk about the deployment part entirely, like how you can deploy an application to multiple environments and how you can design the Helm chart, like one Helm chart, how you can make sure that that is like, acting, or you just kind of modularized so that once you deploy, like let's say if you want to deploy something on dev environment, it acts like, it works differently. When you want to deploy the same Helm chart in test environment, it works differently, and the way you like, put it to prod, perf, and all those things. So in our case, what we have done today, we have got 4 environments. I think the same thing I've shown other day, but we could not finish it. So if you see here, this is perf. You guys are able to see my screen, right?
Yeah.
So if you see, this is perf, like test2 perf, and with this you can see, like, we have deployed this version main 15. Just remember, this is very important because we'll get to know more. And if you see perf, right, and if you look at this is same across all. So this is like, dev environment. The only thing you differentiate is dev, but don't go into that. I mean, think about like some application which we have, like, we have deployed across multiple environments, but these endpoints. So perf environment, dev environment, test environment. If you see test environment, this is prod environment, and this is preview environment. Preview, this is like, green environment. So in prod, we are going to talk about like, blue-green deployment, a real blue-green deployment. And then in test environment, the way I've designed this thing is, in test environment, we are going to see the canary deployment, right? How we can do that canary deployment. So we're going to use a couple of tools like, service mesh like Linkerd, and other things are there. So we are going to use Argo Rollouts, and like there are a couple of tools I've used to achieve that. So for the way the single chart is designed is like, for dev environment, it is a deployment, and for test environment, it is rollout I'm using, and for perf environment, I'm using again dev. For production environment, I'm using blue-green deployment. So the same chart will act based on the environment. It acts differently. Like, that is the way, like, one chart, because it's very tough. Otherwise, let's say there's a requirement you want to deploy, canary deployment in perf environment, but not in dev environment. How do you do that? So you cannot end up creating one application, multiple chart, right? So the way I've designed it, like, one chart, by passing some parameters and all, it will act as an, like, you can configure it as a blue-green deployment, you can configure it as an canary deployment. So all those things we'll see today how that is done, right? So we'll mainly focus on the deployment part, right? So let's go one by one. So I'm using, as you can see, the good way, right? I'm using a tool called Kargo, which sits in between like Git Action and Argo CD. So traditional way of deployment, if you know, or if some people are already on DevOps, or like, in couple of projects you might be using, right? So traditional way of deployment, you in the pipeline, like Git Action pipeline, or maybe ADO pipeline, whatever, GitLab pipeline, whatever pipeline you have, you run through a couple of stages, right? So like you check out code, then you do compile that code, then you do sonar cube, all those things you do. Finally, you create a ECR image, right? Then you push it to ECR. After that, what you do, you kind of, check out Helm chart, and then you do find and replace, set command, all those things you do it, right? So think about something, if you have like one application, like, one application, and you have to deploy across multiple environment, how do you do it, right? It's kind of the day by day, you will see your like, pipeline, whatever you're writing is getting more complex and complex, right? And you do not have a visibility where it is like getting deployed. Look at here right now, you have full visibility, like where my charts are deployed, right? See, like, I have this version, like, Kargo, sorry, this is application, test2 application, and these are the version, right? If you look at here, this version is deployed main 15, right? I've just shown you guys main 15. That's what I said. Just keep it on main 15. If you go back here, main 15 is deployed to dev environment, perf environment, prod environment, and test environment, right? So look at the visibility of this, right? You can easily see which version of application where it is deployed, right? let's say 14. Let's say 14. I mean, 14 was only deployed in dev environment, but not in other environment. So you might have a something. Hey, I don't want this version to deployed in perf environment, but I want this to be deployed in dev and prod environment. So look at like how we can easily control that with good visibility, right? So you can easily see, okay, this version. If you look at here as well, right? So main 15 is deployed in dev, prest, perf, and prod. So it means this version is deployed in all the environments. So you're good here. But let's say no, I need version 14 in dev but not in other environments, so you can do that as well, right? So this is like previous one, this is the latest. If you see here, this is the latest one. So this is the latest. If I refresh it, this is the latest. So main is deployed in 4. You can see the colors here as well, like so I've used Kargo here. So Kargo is like one more promotional tool, we call it as. It is again like a Qt one. If you guys are aware of Argo CD, so the same company has given this tool, Kargo. So you can explore this out. This is very good tool, like people are using it across environment and industry also. They started adopting. It's pretty new. I mean, not that too old, but people started adopting that. So let's see how we can promote code from one environment to other environment. Okay, so before I jump on to we'll start from again right from creating ephemeral environment. Like let's say you have you want to deploy a certain code, right? So the first thing you would do is you cut out a branch from main branch or dev branch, right? Then you start working on the feature, then you create a PR, and then you create an image out of it, and then you have to deploy it, see it, that is what the traditional DevOps so the developer want, right? They want that particular image to be deployed somewhere. So in that case, what we have done, like what we'll be doing is we'll be creating a ephemeral environment, right? So that environment will be there till that PR is alive. So till the PR is there, you have an environment. If you do not have that, if the PR is merged, that environment will automatically goes off. So we'll see from there. Okay, so let's go to this is the app, right? So this app is deployed. Okay, so just give you one more visibility here. So if I go back here, you see, let's say you have hundreds of microservices, right? So you will see complete things from here itself, right? This is one microservice, this one microservice, this one microservice. If I go here, you can see similar configuration here, like dev, perf, prod. So wherever you can control everything. Hey, I need this application only in dev, perf, prod, but I don't want other environments. You can control things. So similar to UI services, system services, all this. So let's say you have hundreds of services. You will see all the services here, and then if you go inside, you will see what is the configuration for each services, right? So in our case, for this particular workshop, what I've done is I've created a end-to-end application for this, just to show you guys how this will work, right? So this is how it is, the complete visibility of things. So let's see, let's move forward and then see how we can achieve the complete deployment part, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create this is application. Let's say this is application, right? And these are all the charts and everything. So let's not go into it. Let's move to our main part. So if I go create a branch from main branch, demo branch, let's say I create a demo branch. And then what I'm doing here is directly again, I'm not cloning things and all, because you can do it, but in this for benefit of time, I'm not doing it now. I'm simply going and editing this file. But ideally you should be cloning the repository, checking out to that branch, and then do all those changes, and then push it back. Welcome to demo. If you see here, this same thing, like welcome to demo, multiple Kubernetes cluster. This is in production, if you see, right? So our application is live with this code, right? So let's change something here. Welcome to the demo in the multiple K8 cluster testing with.
Welcome to the session. Today we cover GitOps and Argo CD, master Karpenter and KEDA, deploy with advanced architecture.
Someone has started something. Okay. So welcome to demo in a multiple K8 cluster with Kargo. Let's say I've added this one, right? And I'm doing a commit, right? This is committed. And now what I have to do is I have to go here, create a pull request, right? So let's say the same, I'm adding here, same thing, right? Create a pull request. Now the pull request created. What is the next thing? Whoever raised this request, he will let's say someone is reviewing the code. So he will go and say, he don't know what this will behave, right? Actually, when it is deployed in dev environment or some other environment, right? So what he need before approving this PR, or someone who has raised it, he want to check what actually this will do, right? What changes it will be. So what he has to do is he has to create an image out of it, right? And then he has to deploy it to some environment, let's say lower environment, dev environment, sandbox, prod, whatever, like, test environment, wherever. So in our case, we're going to deploy it in dev environment, but there is no dependency. So dependency things is kind of, shift towards developer only. So now developer only will able to deploy their application themselves in the preview environment. Let's see how it is done. So the first thing we'll do is I will simply go and add a tag called preview, right? Label, sorry. So the moment I add a preview, what all things will happen? It will kick off to application, right? So if you see here, currently our PR has number 11, right? So we should send applications, but here if you see the PR image with the tag PR10 is available. I mean, this was the previous thing, but not with the 11, right? So in some time, maybe in a minute or two, we should see PR11 also coming up here, so that we can deploy that in other environments, like lower environments, dev environment, right? So as a part of it, I'm now creating an application, sorry, Docker image out of it. So it again runs through all those processes, right? It runs through whatever stage you have. Let's say it compiles it, and then it has sonar cubes and all those things. Whatever traditionally one would have in their pipeline, right? Based on the business requirement, they would have. I need this security, that security. So all, let's say all those things are in place, and after that it will create an image out of it, and then it will push it for the PR as well, right? So that our developer can test it. That's very, very important, right? Before it actually getting merged and someone is reviewing it, he should get a confidence that yes, whatever PR he has raised has got everything which is required or which is asked for by the client. Let's assume in that way, right? So we'll check that how that is done. So currently it is getting. So again, just to take you guys through, I think I've explained it last week, but anyway, I'm just taking you guys through again. So in the runner, you will see two runners will come up. One is like this is running in Kubernetes, and one more will come off, right? So for that, you will see I'm using ECS as I mentioned last week. Again, I'm using ECS here as an custom runner, right? So in the ECS, if you see here, I'm using this one. So here, this guy, it is running, right? So if you'll see, it was not visible earlier. Now, if I refresh it, I should see one runner here getting registered, right? So this cluster, this runner, right? When we kick off, raised and pull request, sorry, raised and added that label, two things happen. Action got triggered, and that action behind the scene, what it is doing, it is creating this task, right, in ECS, and that is getting registered here. When once it is done, it will automatically goes off. So that is again behind the scene. This is again for customizations. We can do that. It's very, very important. Let's say a couple of projects in here. I need these things. I need these things in the runner, but I don't want it to be long running and all. So you can have ephemeral runner created. So this is the way, we have created ephemeral runner. Now we are going to create an ephemeral environment itself, right? Which will be there for timing. And then once our task is done, it will goes off. Okay, so let's go here and let's see if the image got created. So we should see in some time PR11. See, PR11 got created, right? And here, if you see after the task, this will goes off again automatically. See, it is deprovisioning, which is going off completely. And if I go back here to my chart settings, just to give you I have explained it already, but this nothing is there. It goes off because it was ephemeral. So for timing, it will be there. Otherwise, it will goes off, right? So we have an image ready now, and we have some details here, right? That yes, you can access this application via this link. So we'll try to first we have to deploy that, right? So let's say, how do you deploy it? So if I go back here, if I add a label called, okay, so before that, let me go here and see if I have something called preview. So if I do it preview, there is nothing, no environment with preview, right? So now the moment I add a label here, a new application should get created here automatically. I need not be doing anything here, right? Because developer don't know what actually behind the scenes is happening. They simply go and add things here. So they will simply go and they will add a new label called deploy preview. So preview is it's created application, sorry, it created a Docker image, and then it pushed to ECR, and now you have to deploy. Developer has to see, right, what actually it has. So he will add this, and then he will simply sit. So in some time, we should see a preview environment is getting created here. See, now an application is getting created, right? This is for timing. This is for preview environment. For a short period of time, it will be there till we test something. So now if I go back here, you have image ready, and that is getting deployed. And if I go back to Route 53, in some time, I should see this link, right? This link, preview Kargo app, also because you have to access that, right? How do you access it? So that also should be automated, right? So that part also done. So if I go back here, in some time I should see, if I type with preview, right now it is there, but in some time I should see preview environment also getting created. Okay, so we'll see how that is getting created. So preview environment getting created, and same time we should see here new record. See here, new record got created, right? Preview Kargo, the same record which you have seen here. See this one. So this is needed because how else developer would access, right? They don't know. They cannot go to Argo CD. They cannot do anything, right? So they have to wait for these things to be happen. So once this is getting healthy, they will get to know, okay, so things are healthy now. I think I can go and check that, something like that. So again, I mean, there's a Slack channel also configured. I am not showing it now, but it is configured. The developer can easily see that after the deployment is finished, they will go and easily find the replications, alert will be sent to them that yes, this is deployed or something. Okay, so does anyone have any questions before I move on, because this will take some time too. Anyone has any questions here? So as you can see, entire thing is automated. You have got record created, you have got environment created, so everything is kind of automated. Any questions anyone has? No questions? Okay, that's fine. So if I try to, I don't know why. So this will, as it is created, I'm not sure why this is, should create an application. Okay. Oh. So this is out of sync. Okay, so that should create an things, and if you go and access from here, you will able to access it. Okay, so if you see here, we have got the changes PR11, and then welcome to demo. That this changes, right? So if you go back here, this changes, right? So in the preview, if you look at the URL, we have got it in preview Kargo app something, right? So let's say your developer is trying to access it, and they say, hey, I've got my changes here, right? Everything is fine. So whatever I was expected, we have in this PR, right? Now what he will do, he's happy, right? And whoever is reviewing the code, he's also happy. Yes, he looked at this code, he's happy, right? Then the first thing he would do is, okay, so I'm fine with this deployment, I'm fine with this PR, it has got everything, necessary thing, whatever it needed. So right, I'm deploying, he's deploying in dev environment, and the image tag is this, and he has got a change because in the PR I see that change, right? He will go to PR, he will see this change. Okay, I'm happy. And then what he will do again, he'll go back here, and then he will simply, first what he will do, he'll remove. Anyway, you can do two things. The moment you merge the PR, it will get removed. But let's say developer, whoever is reviewer, right? In my case, I cannot add reviewer because it will not. But real time, what will happen? You will have one or two reviewer, right? Let's say reviewer did not turn up today, right? Then in that case, whoever raised the PR, he's seen, yes, my code will look fine, I'm happy with this. But someone who is a reviewer, he did not turn up today. So what do we do, right? He said, hey, I don't want for today's this infra to be utilized, because I'll end up paying some cost for it, right? Anyway, you're using infrastructure, you're doing something, right? So what he will do, he'll simply go here, he will simply remove this. What he will remove? He'll remove this one. Let's say he's removed this one, right? So in some time we should say this is going off automatically. See, that's gone automatically, that got deleted. So think about like, reviewer did not come, and whoever raised the PR, he checked everything. The preview environment got created. He's happy with that, but reviewer did not turn up today. There's no one to approve, so he should not be having an environment to be running there, right? So here deleted automatically. He did not delete it. He simply went. What he had to do, simply remove this URL, labels, right? That took entire things off. So in some time again, we should see this is again going off without doing anything. So think about developer perspective. You're enabling them to do you're like making their life too easy. They can do everything themselves. So there's no dependency, right? So there's automations, like you have achieved automation where you have given everything to developers. So you can do yourself whatever needed, right? You need not to, unless until there's a different problem, do not reach out to ops team or something. So you can do yourself, right? So in some time, if I refresh it, I should see it is also going off in some time. So PR also should go off in some time. So it takes some time, like 2-3 minutes of time. Then it will also goes off, right? So that is one thing. Let's say a developer came in, a reviewer came in, and let's assume the hypothetical scenario, right? And then he again merged, let's say I'm merging the code to main branch, right? He has merged the code. So now what we expect this code to go to all the environments like dev, test, prod, and we'll try with all other things, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to now automatically the moment it's kicked in, it's merged, it will create an ECR image. So if I go to ECR image, if I go here and if I go to Kargo app, I won't see a main 16, because if it, main 16, how I'm getting that main 16? Because if we go here, I'm taking this one 16, right? So this is an tag I'm using build number. So here there is no main 16, but if you come here as well, there is no main 16. If you come here as well, there is no main 16, right? Okay, just to tell you guys, I'm using SSL login for the Kargo. This is good that you're seeing it, right? So if I see there is no main 16, right? 15 we have till 15. So the moment we see image here, latest version, we should also see it in here in Kargo as well, so that it is ready for the promotion. We can start promoting things, right? Now if I go back to UI, dev UI, I see the older version I have, 15 version, right? So when I promote the code, we'll promote one by one environment, and we'll see. So 15 is there, we should see 16 sometime. So this is getting built now. We have to wait for some time. Yeah, so while this is getting built, you can ask me questions if you have. Anyone has any questions?
For deployment, we are using any Argo CD here, right?
Yes. We'll go to, yeah. So this is all Argo CD, right?
Okay.
So these are so you're seeing this URL, right? These are the environment, these many environments we have. So same UI, like test UI, this environment. You're seeing this URL, right? So all these environments are deployed by Argo CD here. Different. These are different cluster, right? So all 4 environment. It's like real-time simulation. Like one chart you're getting deployed into multiple real-time clusters. This is a simulation of that. A real-time. These are the clusters itself.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is getting built. This got built. Now if I go and refresh, I should see main 16 here. See, main 16 got built, right? So now if I go back and refresh here, I should see main 16 here as well. If I go here, if I go for chart, main 16 here, right? The way I've designed this, the moment I promote this code, the moment I add it to here, right now there is no main 16, right? It will automatically get deployed in dev environment. That is how it is. Anyway, you can control it, but in my case, what I've done is the moment I do this, create here, see this getting deployed. Promotion is happening in dev environment, right? So this is very important. Automatically, it's getting promoted to dev environment. So what's behind the scene is happening here. If I go to promotion step, see here, it's cloning that, it's updating YAML file, it's committing, git push, and it is updating Argo CD application as well automatically. So Kargo is taking care of all those things, right? So ideally, what will happen? This is my application, dev test UI, right? This is application. If you see that Kargo trigger it automatically, see, if I go back here, If you look at the URL, see here, main 16 got deployed out, right? I did not do anything. Automatically, Kargo is taken care of that part, right? So this deployment happened automatically. Now, if I go back and if I refresh here, I should see main 16 with the changes here, right? In dev environment. If I refresh here, see, main 16 got deployed with that. But whereas if I go to other environment, no, it is same, older version. See, perf, test, prod, nowhere it is. Nowhere you will have. It's all older version. If I go in some time here in test, in here dev environment, right now it's getting promotion. So you know what happens behind the scene? Kargo promotes the code, then it waits for a real cluster, like real Argo CD application to get stable. Sometime what happen, you will see pods are getting restarted and all those things are happening. So there's a buffer time Kargo has given, like 4 to 5 minutes of buffer time. It waits for actual Argo CD application to be stable, right? That is very, very important. So that is the reason you will see this getting promotion. Promotion is happening and it will wait for 4-5 minutes of time, right? Once that is filled, yes, once it gets a signal, like go ahead signal from here, kind of behind the scene, there's a lots of thing happen. So whenever it gets that, okay, so my Argo application, whatever I have just promoted is healthy, is good, then it will turn itself healthy, like ready and healthy, like this, right? So that happens behind the scene. Kargo will take, and there you will see main 15 is there, right? So you will see in some time main 16, and here again you will see main 15 is there, right? So we will see in some time main 16 will come up and it will get deployed in only in dev environment. We'll see it. Let's wait. Yeah, I am okay. Open for any questions now. If you have, we'll move on. So dev environment, it is coded as an directly. It will, okay. So if you see here, that's this. Okay, let me take you guys through the chart as well. The way how I design it, right? So if I go to test tab, and if I go here, this is important part. If I go to dev environment, okay, this is the main values file. And this value file has by default rollout is false, right? So now I'm using, as I've mentioned, Argo rollout and without Argo rollout. So a couple of environment has Argo rollout mentioned. Wherever I need a good control, I need one environment with canary deployment, one with blue-green deployment. In that case, I'm using it. But I've just there is just one chart, right? So what I've done here is if you go to a values file of dev environment, now what happened here, see, it got updated here, but this part is important. Rollout enable false, right? This is very important. But if I go here to, let's say, test environment, if you see here, rollout enable true and strategy is canary, right? But if I go to again perf environment, this is again very important, rollout enable false, right? But if I go to prod environment, you will see rollout enable true, but strategy is blue green. This is very important. So one chart, and it's acting differently for each environment, the way you're controlling it, right? Again, if you go to templates here, if I go to deployment, see the logics here. So if it is not rollout, then this get deployed, deploy a deployment. If it is rollout, then where is the rollout? If it is rollout, then see, if it is rollout is enabled, then do rollout configure. But again, if it is canary deployment inside rollout, then do this strategy. If it is blue-green deployment, do this strategy. So all those customizations you can do, right? So one chart and number of customizations. It's all up to your logic how you use it. Yes, any questions? Well, this is because that takes 4-5 minutes of time. I mean, I do not have any control on this, so we have to bear with this. Any questions? Anyone? Any questions? No questions? Okay, so as you have seen, this got deployed in dev environment. So what we'll do is we'll promote it to test environment, right? And in test environment, we should see. Okay, see here, dev 16, right? This is very important. Earlier it was not there, so only main 16 is deployed. This is healthy now, right? Deployed in dev environment, right? Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to promote the same code in test environment, but test environment will act as a blue, test environment, right? This is a canary deployment, right? So if I go here, so what I'm doing here is just to show you guys, I'm going to, do this just to see how canary deployments are happening. So if you see here, it's pointing to main, right? And what I'll do here is I'm going to promote this to now promote from upstream. So if you see, this is verified in dev environment, so I'm ready to promote it to dev environment, sorry, test environment, right? The moment you promote it, what happens? Everything same happened, right? And here if you see, in some time you should see a new version. See, canary version is coming up here with 16, right? And automatically if you see, first 10% of traffic is getting forwarded to canary, then 20, then 30, then 40, then do all these things are like, all this customization done here. And if you go back here, you will see sometime you are 16, 16, sometime 15, 16, 15, 16, 15, right? Because all those traffics are getting forwarded. See here, 16, 15, 16, 15, 16, 15, right? Based on the number of, how much percentage of traffic you are forwarding here. This is very, very important. See here, 10% earlier, then wait for 20 seconds, then run this analysis run, then wait for 20 seconds, then something like that, then forward traffic 30%, then all these things are like, this is very, very important, right? So that is how we can do it. Let's say if this something fails here, it will not promote it further. So that thing, it's just very, very important when you're doing it, canary deployment for any of the environment. Real time people are doing it, many of the organizations are doing it, but yeah, this is the way you should do it. And if you see here, like real time traffic, that's how, this is, you can see it, right? Main 16, main 15 and all. So this is how, 40% got traffic, 20 second, then analysis run, then 70%, then 20 second. This is how, if you see here, for test environment, we did not have it, for dev environment. Now for test, I have configured it. For perf, I did not configure it. And for prod, again, I have done canary deployment. So that's very important. Okay, so any questions here? As you can see, traffics are getting forwarded on and off, to previous and then something like that. So after this, automatically this older versions will get deleted. So it will now, canary will turn stable in after some time. Once the entire traffic is moved to 100% is moved. So you will see this canary will turn stable, right? And if you then, hit everything, you will see it. So if I go back and here for test, sometime we will see here, sometime we'll see here, old and new. But once entire thing is done, you will see nothing, all this will see this, that got turned stable, right? Earlier it was canary. So that is the difference here. You see that this getting stable. So now I should see everything stable. No traffic should get forwarded here once we get 100% traffic. So that's how it is, canary deployment. Okay, so here again, as I've mentioned, it takes some time, 4-5 minutes of time. Okay, so in the meantime, okay, anyone has any questions here with the canary deployment? No questions? Okay, fine. So now we are going to see one more thing. Let's say you have login to, okay, while this is happening, right? So let's not wait for it. Let's move on to something else. Let's say, there's a user from a developer group. Someone has logged into Argo CD, right? Obviously, they would go and look for logs and here, right? So traditional way they won't do, they will go and look for pods and like this. Let's say they want to see logs, so they will go here and they will check their logs, right? Like this they will do, right? Nowadays people don't have kubectl logs and all, they will come here. And let's say he has got a read-only access, okay? And there's a deployments are happening and he's not happy with that, and he want a this to be a pod to be removed, right? Let's say here we want a pod to be removed. So I have logged into with my different, like, if you go to user account, I have a viewer access, right? So Carol is a user and he has a viewer access, right? And what happened, let's say he want, let's assume this application is deployed and he want an pod to be removed, right? What happens if he simply go and try to delete that, he will see permission denied, right? So it's very often it happens, like, sometimes user want, hey, I want this app to be pod to be deleted so that it reflects new changes and all those things. It happens a couple of times I've seen. So let's assume that is the case, right? In that case, what happens? Hey, I need now what do you call ephemeral privilege, or I need root privilege to delete this, or some admin privilege to delete that. How do you do it? Like, because people cannot grant for some time, right? Privilege to that guy who is asking for. So in that case, we can do, like, there's a solution around that. I'm going to show you. Let's say that the developer need access for 2-3 minutes of access he need as an admin access, and after that he's okay with read-only access. So currently, if you see, we have tried and he could not delete it, right? So if you go here, permission tab, and if you select this, like, I need temporary admin access, right? He will select it, and if you request for it, and if you see, he has been granted 2 minutes of admin access, right? And now if he's trying here, if you go back and if you try deleting this, it's done. He's able to do it, right? So this is very, very important, like allowing ephemeral elevated access to user for temporary timing, right? So think about a scenario like where there is again no dependency. Now people may ask, hey, how do you monitor, like, who if he's deleted something, right? Obviously backend things, we will have all those SSO logins being monitored, right? And you have other things, everything being monitored, right? So that's very, very, I mean, you can easily go back and get hold of if he's deleting something which is not expected to do, right? So he cannot get rid of that. So he cannot walk off from there, right? So he will completely, like, people will easily catch him because he's been monitored everywhere, right? So if you see here, he was allocated for 2 minutes. Now in a minute this will get expired. Again he will get, like, read-only access. We'll see that, right? So in few seconds he will have only read-only access here. So admin access is going to go off. So you're allowing, like, you're giving him 2 minutes admin access, right? Which is very good. I would say very, very important things in case people need it. So again, you can go back here, you can have different like roles, developer role, DevOps role, admin role, or whatever things. So based on that, you can design it behind the scene. It's very, very important, right? So in few seconds it's going to expire. So you will see again things will come, admin will goes off, right? So you're allowing only 2-minute admin access to that particular developer, right? This is very, very critical, very, very important when you're trying something in real, right? It's very, very important. I mean, I personally, like, if someone needed, I would probably go ahead and use these things and give him or her admin privilege for time being. Obviously he'll be monitored, right? Behind the scene. So that's very, very important here. Now in some time we would see he got read access. Now again, if you go back and try to kind of delete that, he will see permission denied. That's it. That's how you do it. Okay. So we have done, and then test also live. If I go back to here, I think we are good with test. Yes. Now let me promote the code to perf environment, right? Because we have got in dev, we have got in test, perf is still with old and prod also with old. So if I go back here and if I do it here, promotion, right? You see this is verified in dev and test environment. So if I go and promote here, again, the same thing is happening here, right? So promotion would happen, and then in some time I should see for perf as well. I should see version 16, and then all the changes. See here, it got deployed in perf environment, right? Earlier it was 15, now it is 16. And if you go back here, currently main 16 is deployed in dev and test environment, but not in perf. But once this is finished, we'll see it here as well, right? So that's how it is been done. Any questions here? Anyone has any questions? No questions? Okay, fine. So this is happening, right? And we'll see one more thing. So perf is happening, and then okay, so let's assume there's okay, you have an okay, so let me show. Okay, I have developed a application, okay, a custom application. What this application does it behind the scene, it is using uh, uh, behind the scene it is using Kafka and MongoDB, and Kafka and MongoDB both are running in an EKS cluster, right? So if I go back here and if I do pods-a, you will see Kafka and Mongo is running. If you see here MySQL, right? This is sorry, Kafka and MySQL. Kafka, this is MySQL I'm running here, and if I go up here, I should see Kafka also running here, right? So I'm running Kafka, Stimsy Kafka, and I'm running MySQL, right, in a EKS cluster itself. And this application, what it does behind the scene, the moment I say this is like, I've created my own, and if you see a DSP like my domain, so DevOps, SRE platform, you name it. So I've designed this application. So behind the scenes, it's like Golang application, and Golang applications front ends talk to back, back end, and then back end talk to there's a configurations done where we are using Kafka. So the moment I request, let's say I want to create a user here, right? So what I'll do here is, let's say I want to create a demo user, right? So you will see here demo users are getting created. We should see created successful. Now let's say how do I want to see whether that user got created or not. So I just have to go here and do this user list. So I should see demo user. See here, it's getting assigned a random password, right? But let's say if you want to see really whether that is getting created, because maybe you are getting this fake. So I have created this a MySQL I've connected to, right? So if you see here, there is no demo user currently, right? So if I simply execute here this one, you will see a demo user is here. Earlier it was not there, right? So this is getting created, and this is the I'm using AKHQ to connect to Kafka. This is again one tool which you can use to connect to Kafka running in Kubernetes cluster, right? So this is again very important. If you see here, I've got 2-node Kafka cluster. Okay, so if you see here, this 2-node Kafka cluster, and then you have multiple topics here. So in my case, I'm using this topic, and if you see multiple topics, if you go inside of topics, you will see multiple things, data partitions and all those things. So these are the datas you have, right? So all those you can easily see from here. So these are the datas, right? So if you see here, see here you're getting, so the moment you're doing it, so if you say receive request to create a new user, right? So that request is getting pushed to this topic, and from here this is getting pushed to the MySQL to create that user, right? So 4 days ago and all those things you're seeing it, right? So like that, this particular application that I've designed it, this is talking to behind the scene Kafka, and then Kafka from there Kafka it is going and talking to the MySQL. So that's the kind of integrations you can see here, how this is designed, this application, right? So you're seeing everything from here itself. So all those details you can see from, like, this is a custom applications I have designed for this. This one I'm going to use for our SRE thing, which we'll see in detail in our later lectures and workshops. But for now, these applications I'm currently designed it just for the just to show you guys the integrations between how we can do this. Let's say I want to deploy one more application. Okay, so let's see here. Let's say I want to see what's really happening. So what I'll do, I'm going to do live trial, right? And then here in the Kafka topic, and let's see what really happened. So let's say I want here demo again, demo new user, right? And if I do this add, let's see here what happens. See here, received a request to create a new user, right? So in the topic, this is the topic name, this is getting pushed automatically. And then if you go back here again, here I should see the demo new user getting created. So behind the scene, the application is taking care of talking to Kafka, talking to MongoDB and all those things, right? From here, as you can see, request came here, as you all these IDs and all. And if you see here 1279, right? Demo user, all those things. If I go back here and if I refresh it, I should see demo new user. See here, new user got created, right? So this is like connected to MySQL application, which is running in EKS, and this is I've connected to the demo application, Kafka which is running in again EKS cluster. So you can do like this, right? This is one thing. So let me go back here again and see how if the promotion happened with the perf. Yeah, so if you see here, this promotion happened with the perf, right? See here, yes, we are now the prod is pending, right? So prod is very important. The prod I have designed is a little differently. The first thing is prod is like, it's a blue-green deployment, and second thing is prod is acting like, for prod, let's say what happened in prod in real time. Prod directly you cannot go and merge something, right? So in this case, the moment I promote the code, it will go behind the scene and then it will raise and pull request. Okay, it raise and pull request, and the moment it raise and pull request, then someone has to approve it. Let's say the CR is not ready, but you're trying to promote the code from here, right? If it is code and get merged, then that's a problem. So that is the reason you have to have a control, good control, right? So for that, let's see what happened. So if I go here and try to promote from upstream, if you see, okay, so dev, the application is good, perf is good, test is good, right? So as you can see here, perf, we have application deployed 16, dev, it is deployed, and test, it is deployed, right? Now, but in prod, it is not deployed, right? In prod, it is not deployed. That's very important. Now, if I go back here, canary, now we are going to see the blue-green deployment. So for prod, it is blue-green deployment. If you see here, it's blue-green deployment for prod, right? It's very important again. So if I go back here, and if I try to promote the code, now let's say I'm promoting this code, right? What happens? It does git clone, YAML update, it opens the PR, right? So this is very important. It will open the PR and wait for the PR to update, get merged. So this case is little different than others. For others environment, for others, if you'll see, that is not there, right? If you go back, that PR open is not there because it's okay. Like you can simply go and merge, update the template there, right? Or update the chart there. But for production environment, you want to have a good control, right? That is the reason you don't want that to be directly merged. You want that to be like, it will go and open a PR. So if you go and click on this, I should see a PR getting open here, right? So if you see, it's saying, anyway, you can customize this, like promote this image to prod, right? Something like that you will see, right? And if you go here, you will see this file is getting updated, like, chart, test app, values.prod or something like that, right? And there's one more thing. In real time, you do what? Chart update. So you see many people create a feature band, they update their Helm templates, and then they go back and they they raise a PR, and then they wait for PR to be merged, PR to be reviewed and merged. Right? Let's think about real time now, okay? And say you have raised a PR, right? You have raised a PR, and someone is reviewing your code right now. So what ideally he will do? He will go here and he will see, okay, what file got changed, right? He will go here, he will see. But does he really know that, okay, what it will do if he approve this and someone is merging it? Does he really have the visibility? No, right? So in Terraform, if you do Terraform plan, right? So Terraform plan is like, you see, let's say you added 2 lines of code, 3 lines of code. The moment you do Terraform plan, it will say 2 file, 2 resource to add, 1 resource to destroy, something like that. You will see, right? With that, you will have in my platform engineering bootcamp. I think I've shown you guys right now how Atlantis plan works, right? You can see entire things in your PR itself, right? So similarly, let's say, is it not good to have those similar thing like Helm plan kind of thing, right? So which will tell us, okay, the moment you merge this PR, what resource it is going to create or update or do something, delete, right? So to get that visibility, there's one more tool I've used here, or there's a customizations which will tell you which tool it is going, what it is going to do. So if you see here, Argo did. So in production environment, we have this got deployed, right? So if you see here in prod, we have deployed these versions of image, right? 15. Now, if you look at here closely, rollout, right? So if I go back here, to my pull request, where is the pull request here? You see what it is doing? It is telling you prod cluster UI test, right? Automatically. So what you have done, only this file changed, but you're getting complete visibility now here itself. So for a developer or for reviewer, he will know, okay, so if I approve this, so this after the approval, this is going to go and modify these files. What files? Prod cluster test UI, it means this one. and then it is going to go to rollout test UI prod. It means it will go here and okay, PR timed out. Okay, so it is going to go and update this. So similar, you have complete visibility, what file it will touch and all those things, right? So based on that, you simply now merge it, right? So look at this, you're doing a Helm plan here completely itself. So for someone who's reviewing the code, he knows, okay, the moment I approve this, if you merge it, it is going to go and update this folder, this Argo application, this is the parent application, this is the child application, and here it will go and update this rollout. So look at the visibility of it. You can easily see that from here itself, right? So I'm going to promote the code from here. All right. So I should see in some time, the moment I promote the code, I should see a new versions are getting created here, right? Main 15. So I should see main 16, and with the canary kind of thing, like blue-green deployment kind of thing, right? So I should see the moment it get merged and it get if I do sync. Which I should not be doing, but this got because of it got failed. Don't go into fail because we could not merge the PR I was explaining thing, right? So that is the reason it got. So now I have to go and sync myself here. So the moment I sync it, I should see a new version. See here, a new version came up, right? Preview version, right? So this is older version. 15 version, this is 16 version, right? Here we are going to use a blue-green deployment, right? So think about real time, you in production environment, you need a blue-green deployment. You want to have good control here, you want to switch over when you feel confident that yes, things are fine, right? So in that case, what you do here is now you have both the versions running, right? See, if I go back here now, earlier you were seeing for test UI prod, you are seeing main. For preview also you're seeing main, right? But now let's see what happens. If I go here to prod, 15 version, but if I refresh here, I should see 16 version. This is a green deployment, right? That is a blue deployment. If I see here, refresh, see here, 16. So if you see here, this is a blue, this is green, right? So we have both the version running now in parallel, right? This is very critical. So both the versions are running in production. We have blue and green, both are running, and you're seeing it. Let's say you have asked your local team, your internal team, hey, go and check whether the deployment is correct. Should we promote the code? Should we go it to end user and all, right? This is very important. So if you do it, main prod, production is already pointing to main prod, but the preview green, blue environment or green whatever environment is pointing to other latest version, right? Let's say they feel confident. Yes, we are good here. I mean, we have no problem. I think we are good to promote the code to take it live, right? You can take time. So unless until you approve here, this part you're not promoting here, this will be like this only, right? You have two parallel environment running. One is blue environment, one is green environment, and the production environment, right? So that is how we can do it. This is very, very critical for production environment if you want it. So if you simply go here and promote the code, then what happened in some time? See, if you see here, this is stable, right? This is stable and active, but this preview, it means this is green. Let's say this is blue, or this is blue, this is green, whatever. You can just decide yourself. Or red, black. People call it as red, black, blue, green, whatever things. It's about naming convention, whatever you use. So stable, active, preview, right? So the moment I promote the code, this will become active and stable, and this will automatically get turned down. Automatically, I need not to do anything. So the moment I promote the code from here, right? So let's see it. And if again, just to go back here, production has main 15, your green has 16 version, right? I'm just promoting the code now. Let's say everything is fine, developer tested, internal team tested, they gave go ahead, right? So let's say look at the amount of control you have for the production environment. You raise a PR, then PR has everything, right? Okay, so people knows it, what changes it will do with the PR comment you see, right? It's kind of Helm plan comment, right? Similar to Terraform plan. So you know what changes it will do, what file it will, what application it is going to touch, right? So based on approve it and that get merged. Now again, there's one more control you have here, right? Okay, so should I delete? Should I deploy this version to prod or not? The green version. Are we happy with that, right? So let's say we are happy, and then we are promoting here. We are saying yes. See here, it became active, right? And this is going to turn down automatically. See here, it's going to turn down. So here now what happens if I refresh it? I should see here as well. Earlier it was not 16, right? Now I should see 16 here. This is very critical. See, it was 16, which is okay because this was blue environment. The green was in older version, right? So if I refresh it, I should see 16 here. See, so it means we have promoted, like now both the environment, like blue and green, are the same. This is very, very important. Okay. So this is gone, like previous environment, like previous version is getting deactivated. Okay, anyone has any questions here? Any questions anyone has? No questions? Nothing? Okay. Okay, so now let's assume a scenario wherein you have okay, so in our case we have deployed Kubernetes, MySQL is running where it is running in Kubernetes cluster, right? So obviously what happens from the developer perspective, they would need access to MySQL cluster, right? Which is very obvious. Hey, I need access to MySQL clusters. How do I access that cluster? Okay, so in that case, what happens? How do you do it? How do you give him or her access? So what you simply log in like this, what I have done here. You log into MySQL, and then what happens, like you go and create a user, then you share kind of access ID password to him or her, right? That's what you do. So let's say you're doing for a number of users. So in that case, it's kind of very tedious, right? So every time you have to connect here, you have to do, and you have to share him or her ID passwords and all those things, right? So in that case, how we can, so well, I've done kind of little customizations around this, and I've created a Helm chart for this, like for this automation. So let's say there is no demo user, right? Currently there is no demo user. So if I go back here and if I list the user, currently there is no user called demo user, right? There is no user called demo, and let's say I want to create a demo user. I want to give it to user, right? So how I will do? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to so there's a chart I've created called databases, and here values.port. So here what you have to do here, nothing you have to do, just you have to write couple of lines here, and it will make sure it is going and creating. So behind this, and what it will do, it will go create a user in the database, right? Here you will see it in the database, and then it will further goes and upload. It will further goes and upload the user ID and password in the AWS Secret Manager automatically without you doing anything. So it takes care of that, the chart itself. So if you see here, you will see in some time a demo user details is getting created here, right? So like this way. So that is again very, very important. Let's see. So if I had to go here and let's say I want to create a demo user, right? And here you can see, so sometime what happened, this is important again. Let's say I want that user with the authentication password, but sometime what happened, hey, for application, let's say you want to create for application, you want to deploy some application, and that application needs a cert or JKS file or all those things, right? So in that case, you can have a something called TLS here, right? So type equal to TLS, type equal to password. So in our case, let's say we are doing type equal to password. We need a password authentication for that particular user, demo user, right? And this is again, so what happens many times you see for, let's say you're creating for application user, right? Application user. So in that case, when you create users, right? You have to, an application would be running in different namespace altogether, right? Then the task would be, how do you copy that secret which got created for that application user to other namespace? That is again one more task, right? Then again you have to go back, do it manually, right? So in that case, what I've done here is I've designed in such a way that first you can mention whether you need password authentication or TLS authentication, and second you can mention here is whether you need default, like whether which namespace you want to copy. So it will go and copy that particular secrets there, right? So let's say I want to copy the users in default namespace, right? So if I go and do get secrets -n default, right? So if you see here, I think, okay, so my Argo and Sharma is there, but there is no demo user, right? So I should see the moment I add a user, I should see here demo user is getting pushed, details are getting pushed here, and then also it is getting copied here. So it's like, you're doing multiple tasks with just one Helm chart, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy things from here, and then I'm going to do here. It should be in similar line. This is very important. And what I'm going to do here is, let's say demo user, right? Let's say I'm creating demo users, right? And then I'm going to copy that to default namespace, and test is a database where I want him to grant access, and these are the privileges, right? Let's say these are the privileges. I mean, you can modify, like, alt or delete, whatever command you want. Let's say this is the privileges. So what I'm going to do here is git add, git commit, added demo user. Ideally, you should create a feature branch and do all those things, but I'm pushing directly to the main branch, right? Demo user for testing. So as we have confirmed, there is no demo user, right? And there is no demo user here, and there is no demo user here as well, right? So in some time, we should see all are getting created. So I have to go here. There's application called MySQL application here, and I have to do a sync. I mean, obviously it will auto sync, but in my case, I'm doing auto sync here. Like, I'm pushing it, not to wait, and just to see it. So in some time, I should see a user is getting created here automatically without me doing anything. Okay, so Helm chart is taking care of that. So demo user is not there. In some time, I should see a demo user. See here, a demo user got created. It was not here, right? If you go up little, we do not have it here. But if you go down little, a demo user got created, right? This is very important. And again, in some time, I should see a demo user here as well. See here, demo user got created, right? And again, in some time, I should see a demo user here as well. See here, a demo user, right? So all these automations are done behind the scene automatically. You don't have to do anything. So it's like, someone hey, I need my user to be created. Yes, go add few lines, and your automation is done. Everything is automatically shared. So let's say now, okay, the user now goes here. He fetches detail. Okay, this is my demo user password. Let's say whether he's able to log in with using that details or not, right? So if I go back here and I want to check whether user is able to really log in or not, right? So I'm going to use this one with that user details, right? So let's say I'm logged in, and then I'm going to fetch some details from here, demo user, right? And here, right? Because you have to test it, right? Whether the actual ID password will work or not. That's very important. Otherwise, you cannot share it to end user. So if I do here, and then I retrieve the password from here, and if I do this, see, I've logged into user. I've logged into database using that user, which has just been created using the automation, right? So that is how the the automations we have done here. Yes. So anyone has any questions? Any questions? No questions?
Thanks for joining us. Stay connected with DevOps for All for more enterprise DevOps, platform engineering, and SRE sessions. Subscribe and connect with us on LinkedIn.